All right, my dear friend, in this video, I'm going to share with you my exact direct mail strategy for land investing. This is the same strategy that we've used to buy 600 plus deals or something like that. And over the last few years, we have added in additional marketing channels. So I guess that hasn't all come from direct mail, but ultimately it's been the catalyst and the backbone to our business for a long time. And this is the same strategy that we teach inside of Leah. We are very, very bullish on mail for new land investors, because it's a high leverage strategy. It does not require you to pick up the phone all day or text all day. You go and send out your mailers. You let them act as little salespeople. They bring back qualified leads so long as they've been priced accurately. So yeah, people complain about direct mail being expensive and but at the end of the day, the ROAS or the return from it is ginormous if you know what you're doing. So I'm going to share with you guys how to build out your letter, all what you need, what mail house to use, and all that jazz. So sit down, get comfortable. Now, before I cover that, one thing that you are absolutely going to need for your direct mail strategy is a purchase agreement. So we're going to talk about building out a blind offer direct mail campaign here. You're going to need a cover letter with on the back of it a purchase agreement that we're actually going to go and mail to owners. Well, good for you. I'm giving away my purchase agreement for free. Landinvestor.co/PA, no strings attached. You're going to need this to proceed to the next step. Okay. The next thing that you're going to need is a mail house. And there's a lot of mail houses out there. We'll dive into this a little bit deeper, but honestly, after trying pretty much all of them, there's one mail house to rule them all. And the good news is I locked up fat discount because we send so much business their way, both from our business, but also from the folks in our community. I don't think I've ever shared this publicly, but I'm going to drop it here below. If you guys want to get access to the Leah discounts for direct mail, it's that link down below. Go type in the little doobly deal, put it in the description for you. We make like some tiny percentage of a commission on it. It's really not about that. Ultimately, it's about passing off a fat discount to the community. And they run big sales. So it's discounted right now, but when they run their sales, it gets crazy cheap. You can get down to 50 cents for a 2-page letter, which is the cheapest I've ever seen anywhere. So yeah, that's assuming that you're using the Leah discounts. All right, so that's the prereq, okay? You're going to need the purchase agreement. You're going to need a mail house. The third thing that you're going to need, obviously, is a data provider. Now, I'm going to assume that you've already exported and pulled your data. Now, we're inside of my campaigns folder. You can see there's a lot of campaigns in here. We have a hierarchy on how we store all of our data, but I'm just going to go pull a random one here that hopefully we can look at. So this is an old campaign. This is what a final campaign looks like. Okay. So this campaign has been finalized. It's ready to be mailed out. You'll see the sequence that we have here. This is the actual format that the mail house wants us to send this to them. Now, ultimately, when you sign up for Rocket Print Mail, they'll walk you through all of this. One thing that's really important though for everyone here, for any direct mail campaign in land, I'm just going to walk through the must-haves. Okay. So you need owner, first name, and last name. There may be multiple owners on your data set. So just pick the first owner. You don't want to include everyone on there. Ultimately, it will get to them as well. You just need to touch that one person. Okay. The next is the situs state. This is where the property resides. That's not the owner's location. That's where the property resides. So this is in Utah. Next is the county as it relates to the property. So it's in Duchesne. Then we move over to the mail city, mail state, mail street address, and mail zip. Now, what a lot of people will do is they'll take the full mail street address and put it into one column. You can't do that. They do have to be individually broken out. It's a ninja tip. If you don't do this, they'll spit it back to you. So make sure you break these down line by line. Now we have the legal description of the property. Okay. This is how we identify the properties, or one of the ways that we identify the properties. This is the old school way of identifying a property. Nowadays, online, you're going to use what's called an APN, but we like to include both. You don't have to have the legal description, but I think it's wise to have it. And this is all going to mail merge into our offer letter and into our purchase agreement. So it's important that we have the right information. Subdivision, we don't include this in our mailer. This is just from my own understanding. So most of these are going to have what we call a mail merge tab. I'll show you what that looks like, but this is just for my own awareness. Zoning, this is very rural land outside of city limits. So no zoning came up when we exported from DataTree. Theoretically, there still is zoning attached. There's just nothing that's being pulled here. Every county reads this stuff slightly differently. APN formatted. This is how we identify the property. So the assessor's parcel number, it's a must-have. I would take the APN over a legal description if I'm writing up a purchase agreement or an offer letter, but ultimately you should have them both. Alternate APN, just from my own understanding. Living area, this is just telling me if there's any structures on the property. So I cap it at about 400 square feet. So there's some small structures. Acreage of the property. Market total value, this doesn't mean anything. It's just a bunch of noise. This is just a bunch of BS that comes from DataTree, but I like to have it there just to see. I don't really use it for anything. And here's our offer price, right? Now, this is all based off of an acreage range strategy. So this is this is one of the strategies that we teach inside of Leah, which shows us how to break acreage range down in markets, counties, zip codes, whatever that may be. find tight groupings of pricing and go and price off of that, right? So this might look like it's random. This is actually all very formulaic based off of the grid. So that's what this has to look like, okay? Now, I'm actually going to show you guys inside the back end of Leah. It's the most sexy, beautiful program you've ever seen in your life. It's gorgeous. It's out of control. But I'm going to scroll down and just find one very important thing that we're going to need here, okay? And it's this guy right here, blind offer letter framework template. Now, I'm actually going to share that with you here today, okay? I know it's kind of crazy. Don't tell my team, but I'm going to do it because I love you. All right, guys, we are inside the module and I've got this pulled up. It's really ugly because I put it in a text edit format. I don't have Word doc on here or whatever the heck it's called. So apologies. We're using a text edit, but I'm going to share with you a framework for how you can write that cover letter. Now, this is going to be the first part. It's going to be the first page of your direct mail campaign. Now, again, landinvestor.co/PA will give you the second page, which is that purchase agreement. Now, I'm not going to just give you a cookie cutter template. No, today I'm going to teach you how to fish. And by doing that, I'm going to share with you a framework that you can copy. But this framework is going to force you to put your own swag, your own sauce, your own little touch to it. Now, it's really important. This is a Sumner Healey classic, okay? Sellers want the trust and rapport of working with a normal Joe Blow, just a normal person, but they want the speed and professionalism of working with like a Fortune 500 company. What I mean by that is in this letter, we want our own swag. We want our own sauce. We want to be genuine and normal and not talk like some big, weird business person. But when they call us, we give them the speed and professionalism of being a big business. Okay. So that's why it's really important that you don't just steal someone else's letter. You put your own pizzazz on it. And I see a lot of the programs out there, they just give a cookie cutter letter to everyone. What ends up happening is everyone's letter looks the same and it degrades the effectiveness. Uncle Sumner is not going to do that to you, okay? All right, let's hop in here. So top left, company name, company address, company contact information. That's for you, your company. On the right-hand side, you could put a logo or some kind of little touch to it. We've noticed a bit of color goes a long way. Now, inside this letter, we're trying to create what's called a slippery slope in terms of the content and the copy. Every sentence makes you want to read the next sentence. And a slippery slope in terms of the design. So the layout has to be pretty. I wouldn't want to send a letter that looks just like this. It's a little too blasé. Now you don't want to over design it. If it's over designed, it doesn't look like it's coming from a regular person. So it's that happy kind of medium you've got to find there. Next, date. This is going to be the date that it was printed, the name, address, city, state, zip for the seller. This is called a merge tag. So it's going to merge in the stuff from our actual data set. They are going to introduce. Now you're going to say, hello, first name, howdy, first name, doody-doo, what's up, whatever you want to put there. Again, use your own verbiage, use your own words. Doesn't have to be hello. In fact, hello for my personality feels a little dry. I like to have continuity though. If you're like, yo, what's up in your letter, and then they call you and you're like, hey, this is Bob. There's not continuity. I want continuity in the copy and in the sales process. So speak how you would normally speak. Next sentence, I'm interested in your property located in county and state. Quickly identify. They probably own multiple properties. They may own multiple properties in different states. So I'd like to let them know. You could also put a merge tag for the parcel number or the acreage. Now we remove all duplicates from our data set. So if someone owns 100 properties, I'm only going to mark it to one. So it might not be a bad idea to identify with either acreage, the size of the property, or the APN, so they know which one they're talking. Now, of course, you'll also identify that in the purchase agreement using our purchase agreement template. So you don't have to do it here, but it is maybe a good idea. Next, you're going to quickly say who you are and why you want to buy the property. Okay, really quick. This is a letter where we don't want to blabber on about ourselves, but you do want just a quick touch, just a quick pizzazz, something that sets you apart. So it might be like, hey, I'm Sumner. I grew up on the coast of Big Sur, California, and have been living a homestead lifestyle since I was 7 years old. That's true. I actually didn't have my first pair of shoes until I was about 7 years old. No joke. So just a little sauce, just a little touch. What most people write is they say, hi, my name's Bob. I own a family-run land investing business. Dog. Every other person says that. There's no character to that. That's rookie shit. So think about something that's a little more personal. And I want to have a pattern interrupt, right? It's not, hey, I'm Bob. I love buying land. So this doesn't interrupt anyone's thinking. It's, hey, I'm Bob. I'm 4'2" and I love to go fishing. People are like, what the hell? It's so weird. So I want to interrupt their frame of thinking and be like, God, this guy's different. Next, benefits of selling with you opposed to using an agent. So who's your competition? Well, it's probably other agents. If a seller's thinking about selling, you're not really competing with other land investors. You're probably competing with other agents. So what's what I call your value stack? Bam, 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 bam. List out your value stack. What are the things that you're going to provide them that they wouldn't get from an agent? Speed, closing costs, handling weird things on title, clouded titles, back tags, yada, yada, yada. List that out. I want to kind of put that in just a bulleted format. Just bow, bow, bow. Next, instructions on how they get in touch with you and how to return the purchase agreement. So you need to be very, very clear. Like you need to walk them through in a very step-by-step process. Here's what you do. Here's how you get in contact with me. Here's what happens next. Confused mind always says no. So you need to make sure there's no confusion in terms of next steps. I like to include a deadline so we have some kind of incentive for them to act. We're going to reiterate our contact information because for whatever reason, people seem to forget it. Then we're going to sign off. I'm going to put a digital signature on there. That's it. Honestly, that's the nuts and bolts. I mean, that is like the bare bones framework, but that is everything you really need to write a good offer letter. You pair that with our free purchase agreement. You pair that with direct mail through Rocket Print Mail, and you got a nasty, nasty combination. Now, this doesn't speak to picking markets, pricing markets, talking to sellers, all the other things before and after, but this really shows you what you need to do to get started. But if you really want to blow up your business, you want to skyrocket in the next 12 months, what you need to do is go down to landinvestor.co/apply and apply to join Leah. Now, we only allow 15 people a month to join Leah, and we consistently fill up just about every single month. One of the reasons is our 6-figure guarantee. Inside of Leah, we guarantee in 12 months, 6 figures in gross pipeline profit, or we will work with you until you hit that number. Now, of course, we have some rules of the road. There's expectations on both sides. You've got to show up to the coaching call. You've got to finish the program. You've got to fill out your KPIs with their KPI tracking system. Like, we have a real step-by-step process that we take people through, and you have to adhere to. But if you do, that is the greatest guarantee I've ever heard of in the entire land, or maybe even just coaching space in general. And that's why every single month people are bum rushing to get in. So if you want to hop on a strategy call, we'll show you the lay of the land, our strategy, all the do's and don'ts. I don't know. Go to landinvestor.co/apply. Come talk to the team and we'll show you the secret sauce. And yeah, my recommendation is take the stuff you learned here in this video. If you don't have education though, you don't have a strong foundation, please be gentle, please be slow. Don't try to bum rush activity and action if you haven't at least bum rushed education. You need that foundation. Either the market's going to be your teacher, and it's a real cruel teacher, or I'm going to be your teacher. Some kind of educator is going to be your teacher. That's a lot less cruel. And either way, you've got to pay your dues. So if you're like, yo, I'm going to Hail Mary this, I don't need any help or education, please take it slow. Because if you go too fast, too hard, the market will slap you silly. And that's why we're here. We're here to prevent people getting slapped silly. It's a terrible, terrible thing that we see happen far too often. All right, guys, hope this was helpful. Take care of yourself.